4, to promote public participation, non-state actors shall be incorporated in the planning processes by all authorities. 5, county plans shall be binding on all sub-county units for development activities within a county. Pursuant to this provision, honorable members, the Department of Urban Development has prepared a regional and integrated strategic urban development plans for Machakos County and its selected 16 urban centers. The plans are as follows, honorable members. Machakos Town Integrated Spatial Urban Development Plan 2015 to 2035. Regional land use for Machakos County. Tala Town proposed structure plan. Matu Town proposed structure plan. Kangundo Town proposed structure plan. Kadhiani Center the same. That's proposed structure plan. Mitaboni Center the same. Katangi Center the same. Buni Center the same. Kola Center the same. Ekalakala Center the same. Masi Center the same. Kithioko Center the same. Kiva Center the same. Wamunyu Center the same. Masinga Center the same. Mwala Center the same. And Yagui Center the same. That is, each of them have proposed structure plan. The Assembly received the said urban development plans on the 7th of November 2019, honorable members, and for consideration by the House and approval pursuant to Section 104, subsection 1 of the County Governments Act. On the 7th of November 2019, those plans were committed to the Environment, Land, Energy, and Natural Resources Committee for interrogation and tabling of a report in the Assembly for approval as soon as possible. I'm aware that yesterday there was a statement brought by Honorable Ndawa, and again it touched on urban cities and centers, and you interrogated it properly. The second communication, honorable members, is on nomination of chairperson and board members of the Machakos County Public Service Board for vetting. Honorable members, Section 58, subsection 1 of the County Governments Act 2012 provides that the chairperson and members of the County Public Service Board shall be nominated and appointed by the county governor with the approval of the County Assembly. Honorable members, Section 6 of the Public Appointments County Assemblies Approvals Act 2017 provides as follows. 1. An appointing authority shall, upon nominating a person for an appointment to which this act applies, notify the relevant county assembly accordingly. 2. An appointing authority shall, in issuing a notice under subsection 1, notify the members of the public on the proposed nomination through such media and platforms established under Section 91 of the County Government Act as it considers appropriate. 3. A notification under subsection 1 shall be in writing and lodged with the clerk of the county assembly. And 4, a notification of nomination shall be accompanied by information concerning the nominee. Honorable members, in addition, Section 7 of the Public Appointments County Assemblies Approval Act provides that following the receipt of notification of nomination, the Speaker shall report the receipt of the notification to the County Assembly, following which the notification will be committed to the relevant committee of the Assembly. Honorable members, pursuant to these provisions, the County Governments Act 2012 and the Public Appointments County Assemblies Approvals Act, the Office of the Clerk received a notification from His Excellency the Governor of Machakos County on the nomination of the following persons as chairperson and board members of the Machakos County Public Service Board on 6th of November 2019. 1. Mr. George Kioko Luka, recommended to be appointed as chairperson. 2. Miss Cecilia Mbinya Sereka, or Mrs. It's written Mr., but the name Cecilia belongs to a woman. So it's either Mrs. or Miss Cecilia Mbinya Sereka, proposed as member of the County Public Service Board, And then Miss Stella Maris Ndinda Mudoka proposed for appointment as member County Public Service Board. Honorable members, the names of those nominees are hereby committed to the Committee on Appointment pursuant to Standing Order number 42 Standing Order number 42 sub 2 for vetting as per the Public Appointments County Assemblies Approvals Act and the County Government Act, and a report to be tabled soonest before this House. Thank you, honorable members. Mr. Clerk, proceed.
Order number 3, messages.
Proceed, please.
Order number 4, petitions.
Next order.
Order number 5, papers.
Honorable members, under this order we have 2 business. The first one is by the Honorable Dominic Ndambuki. The second one is by the Honorable Kisini. Honorable Dominic Ndambuki.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. My name is Honorable Dominic Ndambuki, Chairperson, Budget and Appropriations Committee. Honorable Speaker, I beg to lay the following paper on the table of the House today, Wednesday, the 20th day of November 2019. The report of Budget and Appropriation Committee of the MACHAKOS County Assembly Budget 2019. Thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Thank you, Honorable Ndambuki. Can I see the paper? Thank you. Next is Honorable Kisini.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. My name is Honorable Robert Kisini, the Chair of Environment, Lands and Natural Resources. I beg to lay the following paper. Honorable Speaker, I beg to lay the following paper on the table of the House today, Wednesday, 20th day of November 2019. The report of Committee on Environment, Lands, Energy and Natural Resources on study tour to Malaysia. Thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Thank you, Honorable Kisini. Let me see the paper. Mr. Clerk, proceed.
Order number 6, notice of motion.
Honorable members, under this order we have 2 businesses by the same honorable members in the same order. Honorable Dominic Ndambuki and Honorable Kisini.
Honorable Speaker, my name is Honorable Dominic Ndambuki, Chairperson of Budget and Appropriation Committee. Honorable Speaker, that aware that the supplementary budget is prepared in accordance with Section 135, subsection 2 of the Public Finance Management Act of 2012, which stipulates that a county government shall submit a supplementary budget in support of the additional expenditure for the authority for spending through the County Assembly. Aware that fiscal year 2019-2020, the Machakos County Supplementary Budget 2019 was received on 9th October 2019 and committed to the Budget and Appropriations Committee. Further, aware that the Budget and Appropriations Committee is mandated to investigate, inquire into, and report on all matters related to coordination, control, and monitoring of the county budget, and that its main objective is to ensure that public funds are well utilized and that the public realizes value for money in all government expenditure. Honorable Speaker, I wish to give a notice of motion that this House discusses and approves the report of the Budget and Appropriation Committee on the Machakos County Assembly Budget 2019. Thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Thank you, Honorable Dominic Ndambuki. Honorable Kisini.
Once again, Madam Speaker, I'm Honorable Robert Kisini, Chair, Environment, Lands and Natural Resources. Honorable Speaker, that aware that Article 42 of the Constitution of Kenya provides that every person has a right to clean and healthy environment, which includes the right to have the environment protected for the benefit of present and future generations through legislative and other measures. Further, Honorable Speaker, that aware that Article 69(1) A, E, and G of the Constitution provides that the state must ensure sustainable exploitation, utilization, management, and conservation of environment and natural resources, and protect genetic resources, biological diversity, eliminate processes and activities that are likely to endanger the environment. Honorable Speaker, cognizant that energy is the life and the pulse of society, and the well-being of people and the economy depend on safe, secure, sustainable, and affordable energy. Honorable Speaker, I wish to give notice of the motion that this Honorable House discusses and approves the report of Committee on Environment, Lands, Energy, and Natural Resources on study tour to Malaysia. Thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Thank you, Honorable Kisini. Mr. Clerk, proceed.
Order number 7, statements.
Honorable members, under this order we have one business by Honorable Majority Leader Mark Mwendo.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Honorable Speaker, the House Business Committee met today on 20th November 2019 to review business balloted for the Wednesday 20th November 2019 and balloted business for the week of 26th to 27th November 2019 pursuant to the provisions of the Standing Order number 151. The committee balloted business as follows. Wednesday morning 20th November 2019, 10 a.m. Report on budget and
Point of order. Honorable Mark Mwendo. Honorable Kamito. Point of order.
Thank you very much, Madam Speaker. I'm on point of order under Standing Order number 27 to request extension of time, Madam Speaker. Honorable Speaker, that aware that Standing Order number 27 sub 2 provides that the Speaker shall interrupt business at 12 p.m. for the morning sitting. Aware that Standing Order number 27 sub 3 provides that the House may resolve to extend its sitting time. Aware that Standing Order number 27 sub 4 requires motion to extend sitting time to be moved at least 30 minutes before the time appointed of adjournment. Honorable Speaker, I beg to move that the motion that the House resolves to extend its sitting time until the business. Thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Thank you, Honorable Kamito.
I call upon Honorable Ndawa to second. Thank you, Madam Speaker.
Honorable Ndawa, the neighbor comes in handy. Immediate door neighbor.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. My name is Judas Bilindawa, and I would wish to second the motion since the business ahead of us is very crucial and very urgent. Thank you, Madam Speaker.
The House would decide to extend time? It goes without saying, doesn't it? Yes, okay. So the sitting will be extended on the approval of the House. We proceed, Honorable Majority Leader.
Yes, thank you, Madam Speaker. I'm also in support of that motion. Madam Speaker, let me start from the beginning, if you may allow. Honorable Speaker, the House Business Committee met today, 20th November 2019, to review business balloted for Wednesday, 20th November 2019, and ballot business for the week of 26th to 27th November 2019, pursuant to the provisions of the Standing Order number 151. The committee balloted business as follows. Wednesday morning, 20th November 2019, at 10 a.m. Report on Budget and Appropriation Committee on first supplementary budget estimates for the financial year 2019-2020 by Honorable Dominic Ndambuki, Chairperson Budget and Appropriation Committee. Wednesday afternoon, 20th November 2019, to that PM, report on budget and appropriation committee on first supplementary budget estimate for financial year 2019-2020 by Honorable Dominic Ndambuki, Chairperson, Budget and Appropriation Committee. Continuation of debate. The MACHAKOS County Supplementary Appropriation Bill 2019, second reading, Committee of the Whole House, and the third reading, Honorable Dominic Ndambuki, Chairperson. Tuesday morning, 27th November 2019, 10 a.m. Report of Youth, Women, Sports and Peoples with Disabilities Committee on Peoples and Disabilities Stakeholders Forum, hosted by Handi Kenya by Honorable Geoffrey Kamoru, Chairperson. Tuesday afternoon, 26th November 2019 at 2:30 p.m. Report of educational tour to Malaysia by Honorable Robert Gisini, Chairperson, Environment Committee. Wednesday morning, 27th November 2019, 10 a.m. Report of Trend, Economic Planning and Industrialization, Industrialization Committee on the Status of Village and Inspectors by Honorable Cosmas Kieti, Chairperson. Thank you, Madam Speaker.
Thank you, Honorable Majority Leader. Mr. Clerk, proceed.
Order number 8. Motion.
Honorable members, order number 8 is a business on a procedural motion. The mover is Honorable Mark Mwendo, Majority Leader.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Procedural motion. Madam Speaker, that aware that Section 8, Subarticle 1C of the County Government Act 2012 bestows the responsibility of approving the budget and expenditure of the county government on the county assembly. Aware that the county executive submitted a supplementary budget for the financial year 2019-2020 to the assembly for approval. Noting that the MACHAKOS County Supplementary Appropriation Bill number 6 of 2019 was published on 15th November 2019, and aware that Standing Order number 116 requires that an appropriation bill on publication should be allowed in the House after 7 days. Aware that 7 days will lapse on 22nd November 2019. Aware that the bill is late for approval. Madam Speaker, I wish to move the motion that this House shortens the time for the introduction of the MACHAKOS County Supplementary Appropriation Bill number 6 of 2019 from 7 days as stated in the Standing Order 116 to 4 days to ensure the bill is approved on time. Thank you, Madam Speaker.
Thank you, Honorable Majority Leader. Who is seconding your motion?
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Lend Honorable Kamitu, Minority Leader, to second the motion.
Majority Leader.
Thank you very much, Madam Speaker. I stand to second the motion. Thank you, Madam Speaker.
Thank you, Honorable Kamitu. Honorable members, you are aware on what the motion is seeking. Do you approve by the House that we shorten the period? Because 22nd is Friday, and we don't sit on Fridays, and we also don't sit on Thursdays. So it is passed by an acclamation of the House. Yes. All right, thank you. So the motion is passed, resolved as requested in the motion. Mr. Clerk, proceed.
Order number 9.
Honorable members, under this order we have one business by the Honorable Dominic Ndambuki. Honorable Dominic Ndambuki.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. My name is Honorable Dominic Ndambuki, Chairperson, Budget and Appropriations Committee. Honorable Speaker, that aware that the supplementary budget is prepared in accordance with Section 135, subsection 2 of the Public Finance Management Act of 2012, which stipulates that a county government shall submit a supplementary budget in support of the additional expenditure for authority for spending through the county assembly. Aware that fiscal year 2019-2020, the Machakos County Supplementary Budget 2019 was received on 9th October 2019 and committed to the Budget and Appropriations Committee. Further, aware that the Budget and Appropriations Committee is mandated to investigate, inquire into, and report on all matters related to coordination, control, and monitoring of the county budget, and that its main objective is to ensure that public funds are well utilized and that the public realizes value for money in all government expenditure. Honorable Speaker, I wish to move the motion that this House discusses and approves the report of the Budget and Appropriations Committee on the Machakos County Supplementary Budget 2019. Thank you, Honorable Speaker. I call upon Honorable Angela Monyasia to second.
Honorable Angela Munyasia, thank you. Honorable Dominic.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I stand to second the motion.
Thank you, Honorable Angela. Honorable Ndambuki, proceed.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. I'm going to read a report of the Budget and Appropriations Committee on the fiscal year 2019-2020 first supplementary budget prepared in November 2019. Overview. Madam Speaker, fiscal year 2019-2020 supplementary budget was received on 9th October 2019 and committed to the Budget and Appropriation Committee. The supplementary budget is prepared in accordance with the Section 135, subsection 2 of the Public Finance Management Act of 2012, which stipulates that a county government shall submit a supplementary budget in support of the additional expenditure for authority for spending through the county assembly. This is because an appropriation act can only be amended through a supplementary budget as provided for in law. The fiscal year 2019-2020 supplementary budget therefore seeks to amend the original fiscal year 2019-2020 Appropriation Act. This will be a remedy to challenges by unforeseeable circumstances that occurred due to disputed County Allocation of Revenue Act of 2019. The adjustments made in the first supplementary budget include 1. Balance brought forward of Kenya shillings 1,884,439,818.95 Kenya shillings. 2. Revised division of revenue that reduced the equitable share from 8,321,000,000 Kenya shillings to 7,754,250,000 Kenya shillings. 3. Revision of own source revenue from 2.2 billion to 1,608,576,900 Kenya shillings. Mandate of the committee. Madam Speaker, the Budget and Appropriation Committee derived its mandate from Standing Order number 186 sub Order 3A that states that there shall be a select committee to be known as the County Budget and Appropriations Committee, which is mandated to investigate, inquire into, and report on all matters related to coordination, control, and monitoring of the county budget. Madam Speaker, the main objective of the committee is to ensure that public funds are well utilized and that the public realizes value for money in all government expenditure. The basis of the committee's execution of its mandate is annual and on special reports. Committee membership. Madam Speaker, the committee as constituted by this Honorable House comprises of the following members. 1. Honorable Dominic Ndambuki, Chairman. 2. Honorable Angela Monyasia, Vice Chairperson. 2. Honorable Paul Museku, Member. 4. Honorable Thomas Mutinda, Member. 5. Honorable Margaret Mwikali, Member. 6. Honorable Ikusia Kaloki, Member. 7. Honorable Jacqueline Ziva, Member. 8. Honorable Moffat Maida, Member. 9. Honorable Daniel Mbevi, Member. Objectives of the fiscal year 2019-2020 supplementary budget. Honorable Speaker, the objectives of the fiscal year 2019-2020 supplementary budget are as follows. 1. Accommodate revised Division of Revenue Act 2019 amendments that were not captured in the approved fiscal year 2019-2020 budget. This is in line with sections 132 subsection 3 and 135 subsection 6 of the Public Finance Management Act of 2012. 2. To accommodate the balance brought forward of 1,884,439,819 Kenya shillings from fiscal year 2018-2019 budget. 3. To fund ongoing projects. 4. To accommodate conditional grants as reviewed from the national government. Sources of funding. Madam Speaker, the supplementary budget is to be funded from the following revenue sources. Equitable share of 9,189,196,587 Kenya shillings. Grants 2,683,596,674 Kenya shillings. And on source revenue of 1,608,576,900 Kenya shillings, all totaling to 13,491,370,161 Kenya shillings. Observations and recommendations. Madam Speaker, to achieve the above objectives, the County Treasury has proposed changes to expenditure framework of the county departments as follows. We look at the Office of the Governor. Madam Speaker, the Office of the Governor has an approved budget of 558,128,498.85 Kenya shillings, which constitute of 5,422,300 Kenya shillings for development and 552,706,198.85 Kenya shillings for recurrent expenditure. The CC Finance proposed that a creation of a vote line to fund purchase of motor vehicles amounting to 43,276,000 Kenya shillings, which will be funded from internal reallocations in recurrent expenditure within the Office of the Governor. The Budget and Appropriations Committee recommends the creation of the vote line for purchase of motor vehicles amounting to 43,276,000 Kenya shillings for the County Assembly. Department of Public Service, Labor and ICT. Madam Speaker, the approved budget for the Department of Public Service, Labor and ICT was 520,796,105.14 Kenya shillings, which constituted of 11,764,400 Kenya shillings for development and 509,030,705.14 Kenya shillings for recurrent. The department is seeking to increase the recurrent expenditure by 639,330,043 Kenya shillings to 1,148,360,748 Kenya shillings, which is an effect of Program 1, which is General Administration and Support Services, basic salaries for permanent staff and others, to increase by 395,599,763 Kenya shillings. Communication supplies, a reduction by 9.9 million Kenya shillings. Reduction of insurance costs by 9.45 million Kenya shillings. Loan fund reduction by 45 million Kenya shillings. Gratuity to contracted staff increment by 295.2 million Kenya shillings. Program 2 on quality management, a decrease by 2.35 million Kenya shillings. Program 3 training, research and development, increase by 15.6 million Kenya shillings for donor funds on KDSSP. The committee notes that salary adjustments for other departments have been lumped together in this department. Madam Speaker, under development, CEC Finance seeks to increase the budget by 21,686,424 Kenya shillings for purchase of ICT infrastructure, increasing the development budget to 33,633,824 Kenya shillings. Madam Speaker, the committee recommends that the recurrent expenditure for the department be revised from 509,030,705.14 Kenya shillings to 783,571,383 Kenya shillings, being the effect of Program 1, which is General Administration and Support Service, increase by 261,618,851 Kenya shillings. Program 2, Quality Management, a reduction by 2,350,000 Kenya shillings. Program 3 on Training and Research Development to accommodate donor funds amounting to 15,559,027 Kenya shillings. Under Program 5, a decrease on ICT infrastructure by 287,200 Kenya shillings. The committee further recommends that development expenditure be increased from 11,765,400 Kenya shillings to 33,633,824 Kenya shillings. We look at the Department of Trade, Economic Planning and Industrialization. Madam Speaker, the Department of Trade, Economic Planning and Industrialization had an approved budget of 389,004,874 Kenya shillings, which constituted of 133,303,750 Kenya shillings for development and 255,071,127 Kenya shillings for recurrent. The department is seeking to increase recurrent expenditure by 15,442,296 Kenya shillings, which is an effect of increase under Program 1 on trade shows and exhibition by 2 million Kenya shillings. Decrease in insurance cost by 4,521,311 Kenya shillings. Increase under Program 2 on trade shows and exhibitions by 1,679,107 Kenya shillings. Reduction under Program 6 on legal fees, arbitration and compensation payment by 47 million Kenya shillings. Increase under Program 6 other operating expenses by 63,754,500 Kenya shillings. And decrease under Program 7 on sanitation management by 470,000 Kenya shillings, resulting to a revised recurrent budget of 273,143,420 Kenya shillings. Madam Speaker, under the department's development expenditure, the Treasury seeks to increase the budget by 10,245,664 Kenya shillings, being the effect of decrease under Program 1 Administration and Support Services by 700,000 Kenya shillings. Reduction of funds for construction of boda, juakali sheds, handcraft and modern kiosks by 10 million Kenya shillings. Reduction on funds for construction of industrial park by 19,234,336 Kenya shillings. Decrease under Program 4 on funds to MACHAKOS investment bond by 1.4 million Kenya shillings. In allocation from the previous year and spent funds. Increase under Program 3 on trade development, construction of market sheds by 17.8 million Kenya shillings. Increase in office block and public toilets construction by 20.1 million Kenya shillings. Increase in allocation for boda and juakali sheds by 3.7 million Kenya shillings, resulting to advised development budget of 143,549,414 Kenya shillings. Madam Speaker, the committee recommends that recurrent expenditure in the department be revised from 255,071,124 Kenya shillings to 290,992,620 Kenya shillings, and further recommends that development expenditure in the department be revised from 133,303,750 Kenya shillings to 143,549,414 Kenya shillings. Department of Decentralized Units, County Administration, Environment and Solid Waste Management. Madam Speaker, in the Department of Decentralized Units, County Administration, Environment and Solid Waste Management, the approved budget was 483,705,149 Kenya shillings, which constituted of 88.1 million Kenya shillings for development and 395,605,149 Kenya shillings for recurrent expenditure. The department seeks to reduce recurrent expenditure by 111,962,307 Kenya shillings, which is an effect of Program 1, General Administration and Support Services. 13,572,038 Kenya shillings. Reduction in Program 2 on civic engagement by 89,073,260 Kenya shillings. Reduction in Program 3 on administration and coordination services by 2,548,180 Kenya shillings. Reduction in Program 4 on solid waste management by 1,805,500 Kenya shillings. Reduction in Program 5 on forensic and inspectorate services by 3,045,175 Kenya shillings. Reduction in Program 7 on inspectorate management by 1,918,155 Kenya shillings, resulting to a revised recurrent budget of 281,642,084 Kenya shillings. Madam Speaker, the department proposes to decrease development expenditure by 20,721,975 Kenya shillings, which is an effect of reduction in Program 1 on construction and renovation of ward offices by 12,984,000 Kenya shillings, reduction under Program 4 on purchase of shovels, rakes, spades, and wheelbarrows by 268,987 Kenya shillings, reduction under Program 5 on construction of Inspectorate Headquarters and Forensics by 2.4 million Kenya shillings, reduction in purchase of Inspectorate Vehicle by 2,188,988 Kenya shillings, reduction in Forensic Lab Equipment by 960,000 Kenya shillings, reduction under Program 6 on cleaning of EPZ Drainage Canal by 720,000 Kenya shillings, reduction on purchase of musical instruments for the Inspectorate Band by 1.2 million Kenya shillings, resulting to a revised development budget of 67,378,025 Kenya shillings. Madam Speaker, the committee recommends that recurrent expenditure in the department be revised from 395,605,149 Kenya shillings to 310,793,642 Kenya shillings, and development budget be revised from 88.1 million Kenya shillings to 67,378,025 Kenya shillings. Department of Finance and Revenue Management. Madam Speaker, in the Department of Finance and Revenue Management, the approved budget was 645,900,462 Kenya shillings, which constituted of 89,738,163 Kenya shillings for development and 556,162,299 for recurrent. CEC Finance proposes a reduction of 75.5 million Kenya shillings from the emergency fund to a revised recurrent budget of 480,662,299 Kenya shillings. The committee notes that the reduction reduces an emergency fund from 83,725,205 Kenya shillings to 6,725,205 Kenya shillings. The committee notes that this is prudent. Notes that it is prudent to have an emergency fund kitty for the county, and the executive needs to budget for this fund in subsequent budgets. The committee recommends the recurrent budget of the department be revised from 556,162,299 Kenya shillings to 480,662,299 Kenya shillings, and further that development budget be 89,738,163 Kenya shillings. Department of Water and Natural Resources. Madam Speaker, the Department of Water, Irrigation and Natural Resources had an approved budget of 622,940,551 Kenya shillings, which constituted of 122,720,525 Kenya shillings for recurrent and 500,220,026 shillings for development. The department is seeking to reduce the recurrent expenditure by 9,857,466 Kenya shillings, which is an effect of Program 1, decrease in utility supplies and services by 9,857,466 shillings, resulting to a revised budget of 112,863,059 Kenya shillings. Madam Speaker, the department is seeking to increase the development expenditure by 224,960,151 Kenya shillings, which is an effect of Program 1, elevated steel tanks reduction by 6 million, reduction in new boreholes by 7,133,244 Kenya shillings, decrease in purchase of specialized planned equipment by 5,656,607 Kenya shillings, increase in construction of dams and water pans by 211,750,000 Kenya shillings. The CEC Finance proposes an allocation of 32 million Kenya shillings from the Department of Public Service, ICT and Labor under Program 1 and spent balances in recurrent expenditure to cater for construction of wares, resulting to a revised recurrent budget of 725,180,177 Kenya shillings. Madam Speaker, the committee recommends that recurrent expenditure in the department be revised from 122,720,525 Kenya shillings to 112,863,059 Kenya shillings. The committee further recommends that development expenditure in the department be revised from 500 million to 20,026 Kenya shillings to 725,180,177 Kenya shillings. Department of Agriculture, Food Security and Cooperative Development. Madam Speaker, the Department of Agriculture, Food Security and Cooperative Development had an approved budget of 737,975,110 Kenya shillings, which constituted of 383,449,083 Kenya shillings for recurrent and 354,525,927 Kenya shillings for development. The department is seeking to reduce the recurrent expenditure by 13,944,048 Kenya shillings, which is an effect of increase in Program 1 by 3,713,513 Kenya shillings, decrease in Program 2 by 7,016,044 Kenya shillings, decrease in Program 3 by 2,750,829 Kenya shillings, decrease in Program 4 Fisheries Development by 1,288,178 Kenya shillings, decrease in Program 5 on Veterinary Services by 2,428,351 Kenya shillings, decrease in Program 6 on Agriculture Training Center by 2,214,776 Kenya shillings, decrease in Program 7 on Cooperative Development and Marketing by 2 million Kenya shillings, increase in Program 11 on Fuel and Lubricants by 81,232 Kenya shillings, decrease in Program 12 on Audit Support Services, Fuel and Lubricants by 616 Kenya shillings, resulting to a revised budget of 369,505,035 Kenya shillings. Madam Speaker, the department is seeking to increase the development expenditure by 8,239,859 Kenya shillings, which is an effect of Program 1, increase in World Bank grants by 38,525,536 Kenya shillings, increase in Program 2 on allocation on greenhouses and tractors by 18,314,660 Kenya shillings, decrease in acquisition of strategic stocks by 12 million Kenya shillings, reduction in Program 3 development of hatcheries and beehives by 30 million Kenya shillings, decrease in veterinary services by 10,503,304 Kenya shillings, increase in Program 7 on cooperative development by 3,903,057 Kenya shillings, resulting to a revised budget of 362,765,786 Kenya shillings. Madam Speaker, the committee recommends that recurrent expenditure in the department be revised from 383,449,083 Kenya shillings to 369,505,035 Kenya shillings. The committee further recommends an allocation of 10 million Kenya shillings for purchase and distribution of chicks, and that development expenditure in the department be revised from 354,525,927 Kenya shillings to 362,765,786 Kenya shillings. Department of Health and Emergency Services. Madam Speaker, the approved budget for the Department of Health and Emergency Services was 3,954,764,283 Kenya shillings, constituting of development expenditure of 586,173,909 Kenya shillings and 3,368,590,374 Kenya shillings for recurrent. The CEC finances proposing an increase in the recurrent expenditure by 26,921,898 Kenya shillings, which is an effect in Program 1, current transfers and grants on UHC, amounting to 92,681,087 Kenya shillings. Program 2, a decrease in medical specialized drugs by 159,737,223 Kenya shillings. Increase of other current transfers and grants for level 5 conditional grants, 93,978,035 Kenya shillings, resulting to a revised budget of 3,395,512,272 Kenya shillings. The CC proposes an increase in development budget by 57,545,497 Kenya shillings, being an effect of reduction in Program 7, Emergency Services, by 2,791,616 Kenya shillings. Program 8, increase in refurbishment of dispensaries, 60,337,113 Kenya shillings, resulting to a revised allocation of 643,719,406 Kenya shillings. Honorable Speaker, the committee recommends that recurrent expenditure of the department be increased from 3,368,590,374 Kenya shillings to 3,395,512,272 Kenya shillings. The committee further recommends that development expenditure be increased from 586,173,909 Kenya shillings to 643,719,406 Kenya shillings. Department of Transport, Roads, Public Works and Housing. Madam Speaker, the Department of Transport, Roads, Public Works and Housing had an approved budget of 1,566,365,534 Kenya shillings, which constituted of 202,268,477 Kenya shillings for recurrent and 1,364,097,057 Kenya shillings for development. The department is seeking to reduce recurrent expenditure by 21,716,526 Kenya shillings, which is an effect of decrease on rental of produced assets at 1 million Kenya shillings, routine maintenance and other assets by 2 million Kenya shillings, and insurance costs by 18,016,526 Kenya shillings, resulting to a revised allocation of 180,551,951 Kenya shillings. The department also seeks to increase the development expenditure by 149,959,938 Kenya shillings, which is an effect of increase under Program 2 on road development and management by 100,736,490 Kenya shillings, and an increase under Program 3 on county government building services by 49,233,448 Kenya shillings, resulting to a revised allocation of 1,514,560,995 Kenya shillings. Madam Speaker, the committee observed that there was reduction in expenditure on construction of rural roads due to the adjusted County Allocation of Revenue Act of 2019. The committee recommended and recommends that the reduction in expenditure on rural access roads, should not affect ward projects as budgeted. Madam Speaker, during the fiscal year 2019-2020 budget estimates passed in June 2019, the House approved a budget of 455,050,000 Kenya shillings for rural roads. This figure comprised of 305,050,000 Kenya shillings for ward projects and 150 million Kenya shillings for the executive rural projects. In this proposed first supplementary budget, 303 million Kenya shillings has been removed from this vote head, which is rural roads, and reallocated to major dams under Department of Water. The effect of this is a reduction of 251,656,730 Kenya shillings in fiscal year 2019-2020 projects. The CC Finance noted that the same will be funded in a subsequent supplementary budget. Madam Speaker, committee observed that the department had allocated 80 million Kenya shillings for refined fuels, oils and lubricants. The committee recommends that 40 million Kenya shillings be allocated for rural access roads, with each ward allocated a fuel card of 1 million Kenya shillings. The committee notes that each department has budgeted for fuel under recurrent expenditure. Therefore, the committee recommends that each department to rely on the allocated budget for fuel under the recurrent and fuel funds budgeted for under transport department in the development budget be spent only on development projects as recommended above. Madam Speaker, the committee recommends that the current expenditure for the Department of Transport, Roads, Public Works and Housing be reduced from 202,268,477 Kenya shillings to 180,551,951 Kenya shillings. The committee further recommends that development expenditure for the department be revised from 1,364,097,057 Kenya shillings to 1,257,076,139 Kenya shillings. Department of Education, Youth and Social Welfare. The Department of Education, Youth and Social Welfare had an approved budget of 468,459,737 Kenya shillings, which constituted of 158,543,289 Kenya shillings on development and 309,916,439 Kenya shillings recurrent expenditures. The department is proposing to increase recurrent expenditure by 50,416,859 Kenya shillings. An increase under Program 1 on bursaries by 110 million Kenya shillings, which is an effect of decrease under Program 2 on ECDE support program by 59,583,141 Kenya shillings, resulting to a revised recurrent budget of 360,333,298 Kenya shillings. Madam Speaker, the department is seeking to increase development expenditure by 50,164,942 Kenya shillings, being an effect of increase under Program 1 on construction of ECDE centers by 35,726,717 Kenya shillings, increase under Program 3 on conditional grants for rehabilitation of youth polytechnics by 6,338,225 Kenya shillings, increase on construction of youth polytechnics by 8.1 million Kenya shillings, resulting to a revised development budget of 208,708,240 Kenya shillings. The budget for bursaries remain as budgeted. Madam Speaker, the committee recommends that recurrent expenditure for the department be revised from 309,916,439 Kenya shillings to 360,333,298 Kenya shillings, and further recommends that development expenditure be increased from 158,543,298 Kenya shillings to 233,981,523 Kenya shillings. Department of Lands, Urban Development, Energy and Natural Resources. Madam Speaker, the Department of Land, Urban Development, Energy and Natural Resources had an approved budget of 1,273,168,565 Kenya shillings, which constituted of 1,152,661,700 Kenya shillings for development and 120,506,865 Kenya shillings for recurrent. Madam Speaker, the CECM Finance is seeking to reduce the recurrent expenditure by 14,232,649 Kenya shillings by reduction under Program 1, Headquarters Administrative Services, 9,410,508 Kenya shillings, decrease under Program 2 on Housing and Urban Development by 4,629,000 Kenya shillings, decrease in Program 3 on Energy and Natural Resources by 285,140 Kenya shillings, resulting to a revised recurrent budget of 106,182,216 Kenya shillings. Madam Speaker, the CCM Finance is seeking to reduce development expenditure by 26,138,355 Kenya shillings, being an effect of decrease under Program 2 on Physical Planning and Development by 21,598,355 Kenya shillings, decrease under Program 3 on County Electrification by 4,540,000 Kenya shillings, resulting to a revised budget of 1,126,523,345 Kenya shillings. Madam Speaker, the committee recommends that the recurrent expenditure for the department be revised from 120,506,865 Kenya shillings to 160,182,216 Kenya shillings, and further recommends that development expenditure be revised from 1,152,661,700 Kenya shillings to 1,136,522,345 Kenya shillings. Department of Tourism, Culture, Sports and Cooperative Development. Madam Speaker, the Department of Tourism, Culture, Sports and Cooperative Development had an approved budget of 233,897,125 Kenya shillings, which constituted of 130 million Kenya shillings on development and 103,897,125 Kenya shillings on recurrent expenditure. The County Treasury is seeking to increase recurrent expenditure by 10,890,055 Kenya shillings, which is an effect on Program 1, a decrease in administration and support services by 3,035,878 Kenya shillings, increase in Program 4 on People's Park by 10 million Kenya shillings, increase in Program 5 on Machahood by 1 million Kenya shillings, increase in Program 6 on County Beautification by 500,000 Kenya shillings, increase in Program 7 on Youth and Sports for fuel and lubricants by 400,000 Kenya shillings, other current transfers of 2,025,933 Kenya shillings, decrease on Kikoska by 9,974,067 Kenya shillings, increase on Kenyatta Stadium by 5 million Kenya shillings, increase on Machakos United by 7 million Kenya shillings, resulting to a revised recurrent budget of 110,761,247 Kenya shillings. Madam Speaker, the department is seeking to increase development expenditure by 76,422,738 Kenya shillings, which is an effect of Program 4, Management of Recreational Facilities, that is Masinga Park, by 24 million Kenya shillings. Increase in Program 5, Talent Management, that is purchase of recording equipment, by 8 million Kenya shillings. Increase in Program 7 on construction of stadiums by 44,422,738 Kenya shillings, resulting to a revised development budget allocation of 206,422,738 Kenya shillings. The committee observed that there was a arithmetic error of 4,025,933 Kenya shillings, causing a budget deficit, hence the need for the committee to correct. The committee corrected the error to balance the supplementary budget. Madam Speaker, the committee recommends that the current expenditure for the department be revised from 103,897,125 Kenya shillings to 141,461,247 Kenya shillings, and further recommends that development expenditure for the department be revised from 130 million Kenya shillings to 206,422,738 Kenya shillings. County Public Service Board. Madam Speaker, the County Public Service Board had an approved budget of 69,009,725 Kenya shillings, which constituted of 10 million Kenya shillings on development and 59,009,725 shillings on recurrent. The department is seeking to decrease the recurrent expenditure by 3,668,683 Kenya shillings, which is an effect of decrease in allocation for administrative service, making the total allocation of 55,341,042 Kenya shillings. The department proposes to decrease development expenditure on non-residential buildings by 2,352,097 Kenya shillings to a revised estimate of 7,648,903 Kenya shillings. Madam Speaker, the committee recommends that the recurrent expenditure of the County Public Service Board be reduced from 59,009,725 Kenya shillings to 55,341,042 Kenya shillings. The committee further recommends that the development expenditure be reduced from 10 million Kenya shillings to 7,647,903 Kenya shillings as proposed. County Assembly. Madam Speaker, the County Assembly had an approved budget of 1,298,145,156 Kenya shillings, which constituted of 387 million Kenya shillings for development and 911,145,156 Kenya shillings for recurrent expenditure. Madam Speaker, the committee recommends that the County Assembly budget be maintained as approved, considering that it is costed. Effects of the supplementary budget. Madam Speaker, the overall effect of these proposed changes is a revision of the approved budget from 12,822,260,775 Kenya shillings to 13,491,370,161 Kenya shillings. A further analysis shows that the recurrent expenditure will increase by 254,912,173 Kenya shillings, while development expenditure will increase by 414,197,213 Kenya shillings. This translates to a recurrent expenditure of 60% and development expenditure of 40%. Compensation to employees stand at 4,721,979,557 Kenya shillings, translating to 35% of the total revenue in compliance with the PFM Act of 2012. This supplementary budget is therefore in compliance with the fiscal responsibility principles set out under Section 107, subsection 2B of the PFM Act of 2012. Madam Speaker, on accommodating the recommendations by the Budget and Appropriations Committee, the expenditure framework shall be 5,385,748,743 Kenya shillings, translating to 40% on development, and recurrent 8,105,621,418 Kenya shillings, which is a 60%, and compensation to employees shall be 4,721,979,557, translating to 35% of the total revenue. Other observations and recommendations. Madam Speaker, the committee observed that 1. Salary increments have taken the center stage in most departments' reallocations. In determining these increments, the committee considered the originally proposed salaries by the executive in the original budget submission for fiscal year 2019-2020, which the committee had previously adjusted downwards to settle at 35% as stipulated in Regulation number 25 of the PFM Regulations Act. The committee recommends that increase in salaries should not be introduced after the fiscal year budget to ensure checks on wage bill and to adhere to PFM Act. 2. Most reallocations have been effected from the unspent fiscal year 2018-2019 balances brought forward of 1,884,439,819 Kenya shillings as the source of funding the supplementary budget. The proposed revenue for the county has further been revised downwards, implying that the county revenue may not support the wage bill in the future if measures are not put in place to tame the ballooning wage bill. Madam Speaker, the committee seeks to engage the executive in the future to address this matter. Number 3, in the previous years, the government has had balances brought forward. These amounts have been had to be budgeted for in the successive budgets. This is in line with Section 136 of PFM Act, which stipulates that an appropriation which has not been spent lapses immediately at the end of the financial year. The committee noted that development funds that remained unspent at the end of fiscal year 2018-2019 were reallocated to recurrent expenditure and a small percentage to development expenditure. This is a growing trend from the previous years, which seems to be sacrificing development projects of the county, thereby increasing recurrent expenditure. The committee recommends that any unspent balances brought forward after the close of the year should be reallocated to development projects, since recurrent expenditures are already covered in the budgetary allocations of the fiscal year. 4. Many new projects have been introduced in the supplementary. The law allows such new projects to be unforeseen at the time of fiscal year budgeting or unavoidable in nature, which is not the case in the supplementary. The committee recommends that in future, the county treasury adheres to the approved fiscal year budget and also the principles and financial objectives set out in the county fiscal strategy paper. 5. Reallocations in various departments are more than the stipulated 10% in the Public Finance Management Act. The law allows the county assembly to approve a higher percentage in special circumstances as stipulated under section 135, subsection 7 of the PFM Act. The committee therefore recommends to this Honorable Assembly to approve the reallocations. 6. The supplementary funding proposals exceeded the county fiscal strategy paper ceilings approved by this Honorable Assembly. This happened because there were balances carried forward from the previous fiscal years and additional conditional grants which were included in the amended CARA for fiscal year 2019-2020. Section 136 of PFM Act stipulates that any unspent money at the end of the financial year lapses immediately at the end of the year, and it is transferred to the County Revenue Fund, otherwise known as CRF, account at the Central Bank of Kenya. The committee therefore recommends that money is to be appropriated in the fiscal year 2019-2020 supplementary budget. 7. The committee notes that although the bursary fund is operational, absorption rate is low, and the CO Finance and CO Education should ensure absorption of funds by the intended beneficiaries is improved. Number 8, the committee was not provided with up-to-date expenditure reviews and IFMI's vote book to ascertain the need for reallocations in the departments. The committee recommends that the county treasury adheres to Article 183, Sub-Article 3 of the Constitution of Kenya that provides that the County Executive Committee shall provide the County Assembly with full and regular reports on matters relating to the county. Number 9, committee has noted that there is no provision for pending bills, and the committee recommends that an allocation be done by each department to cater for pending bills and in line with Treasury guidelines. In conclusion, Madam Speaker, the approval of the fiscal year 2019-2020 supplementary budget shall increase the absorption rate of the county and avoid carrying forward balances that have been witnessed in the previous years. Ward projects, as proposed by honorable members, remain intact. Acknowledgement. Madam Speaker, the Budget and Appropriation Committee is grateful to the Office of the Speaker and that of the Clerk to the County Assembly for facilitating the committee to undertake its mandate. I wish to express my appreciation to the honorable members of the committee who sacrificed their time to participate in the meetings and in preparation of this report. Madam Speaker, it is therefore my privilege on behalf of the Budget and Appropriation Committee to table the fiscal year 2019-2020 first supplementary budget before this Honorable Assembly for consideration and approval. Thank you, Madam Speaker.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Honorable Dominic Ndambuki. Honorable members, I now propose the question that this House does approve and adopt that this House discusses and approves the report of the Budget and Appropriation Committee on the Machakos County Supplementary Budget 2019. Honorable members, I now invite you to debate the motion. Honorable Johanna.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I wish to stand in support of this report, given that, as given on page 5, that the objective of this supplementary budget is to address very key issues. One being funding of the ongoing projects which we submitted as the Assembly to cater for our people in the various wards, and also accommodate conditional grants as reviewed from the national government. Madam Speaker, I've looked at the various adjustments in the various departments. Madam Speaker, I've also noted that there has always also been a consideration, especially in the allocation of bursaries and construction of ECD classes. And this is also an area which has been very key to our people. Madam Speaker, on Department of Water, Irrigation and Natural Resources, where water is a right to our people, I would like to applaud this, the committee, for also giving consideration, especially on the water projects which have not fully been completed, and ensuring that we have some increases, especially on the construction of dams, water pans, and also the boreholes. And Madam Speaker, also because we wish also to empower our people by also allocating projects to our people, and also making sure that we don't, Madam Speaker, deny the people who support the government, and also our people who are out also to create employment to our youths by giving projects to them, and also ensuring that our youth are taken care of in terms of being engaged in the various projects in our wards. Madam Speaker, I wish to applaud the need to pay, or that is pay the pending bills. That has been an area of concern, which has also been given as a condition from the higher government. I have seen in on page 20 that committee noted that there is no provision for pending bills, and the committee recommends that an allocation be done by each department to cater for the pending bills and in line with the Treasury guidelines. So I fully support this report. It is a nice report, and I wish to say even the chair, the reading of the report was very smooth and very encouraging. Thank you, Madam Speaker.
Thank you, Honorable Johanna. Honorable Mulatia, Party Majority Party Whip.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. My name is Honorable Tarik Mulatia Mwema, member from Masinga Central Ward, Majority Whip of this House. First, I would like to applaud the committee for job well done, but there are some few issues. I have some few concerns which I would like to raise in this Honorable House, Madam Speaker. When you come to page 12, Madam Speaker, I've seen they have given, there is a recommendation there whereby they have, the recurrent has been increased. And Madam Speaker, I don't see why they could increase.
For which department?
I think it is for health and emergency services. There was an increment there from 3.368 and 590 to 374 to 3.4 395 512 272. So I don't know why they should increase the recurrent instead of development. Also, Madam Speaker.
The development there is also increased.
Yeah, but I'm talking on the part of the recurrent. If, for example, I tell you in my house I spent 20,000, why should you give me 30,000? Anyway, that is my own thinking, and I stand to be corrected at the same time.
Maybe, Madam Speaker, we could correct that almost immediately.
Right away.
I wish to be corrected also.
Honorable Museko, you can.
Yeah, maybe if the, thank you, Madam Speaker, is an observation which is well, he has noted. If you look at what the committee has written right at the top of page 12, is that Kenya shillings 26,921,898, which is an effect of Program 1, current transfers and grants under universal health care. So once we are given grants and funds under universal health care, then we have to increase because that has to go under recurrent expenditure. Thank you.
So what you're saying, Mheshimiwa Museko, you are addressing a grant under UHC. Is that right?
Kind of in the light, but why not to the development? Anyway, let me leave that one.
Go ahead, make it.
let me leave that one. When we come to the Department of Roads and Transport, Madam Speaker, I think this is where all honorable members are really interested.
Page
13. I would also like to appreciate that they have also taken some money from this department and directed to water department, like 303 million, which is really recommendable because water is the main challenge, especially where I come from. So I'd like to thank them for this. Now, the problem comes now to the access roads, Madam Speaker, on the same page. I remember when we were at Bunge Mashinani at Ndivine, we passed a motion asking the Department of Transport and Roads to contract instead of using our own county equipment. Madam Speaker, I would state here that use of this county equipment, it has been a total failure. We can see all these equipment being stalled for over 4 or 5 months. Like recently, they have risen up a little bit, like a week. Now they are saying there is no fuel again. So I don't know how we can urge the Department of Roads to contract these roads. Because if I'm, like in my area, if we contract 1 million, we contractors and we give them 1 million, I think all access roads will be done. So that's another observation, Madam Speaker, I was trying to check there. Then, Madam Speaker, as I was doing my own introduction, I said I come from Masinga Central. And when we come to department, which department is this? This Department of Tourism and Culture and Sports. Madam Speaker, when you come to page 16, there is a, they say, Madam Speaker, the department is seeking to increase development expenditure by 76,422,738, which is the effect, which is an effect of Program 4, Management of Recreation Facilities, Masinga Park. I come from this area. I represent this area. I'm not aware of anything called a recreation center called Masinga Park. I'm not aware. And then it has been allocated 24 million. So we also need a clarification on this one because there is totally no Masinga Park in my area. Thank you, Madam Speaker.
Thank you, Honorable Mulatia. Honorable Ngunga.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. My name is Honorable Francis Mwani Kingunga, the second majority leader of this house and the immediate former majority leader. Madam Speaker, I raise to support...
How many majority leaders we have in the house? It's just...
I have indicated, Madam Speaker, the immediate former majority leader.
Yes, immediate former.
Thank you.
But I thought you said you are the second.
Madam Speaker, I raise to support the motion that has been brought
Go
by...
Go ahead. I just want it to be on record that we have only one majority leader in this house.
It is true, Madam Speaker, but records are there that I was the second majority leader of this house. This record stand...
That is not in dispute.
Of course, yeah. So titles never cease. So, Madam Speaker,
history will never change. So
history never changes. So I still, and Madam Speaker, I think I should be addressed as such. That's very important.
Former, immediate. No.
I'm one of the fathers of this assembly.
Order, Honorable Mbuga. Submit. Contribute.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. So, Madam Speaker, I want to add my voice to what honorable members are saying, but I want to go to page 21 and raise an issue with what the committee say, that the committee was not provided with the up-to-date expenditure reviews, and especially the IFMI's vote book. Now, Madam Speaker, in the absence of the IFMI's vote book, that becomes a little challenge. And it's my wish and probably my prayer to the committee in future to insist that this IFMI's vote book is provided to them. Because this is the only way that we can be able to get to know the expenditure that has been there. One of the things that Honorable John has come up with is about the pending bills. It will not be able, the House will not be able to see how much pending bills are there. If, Madam Speaker, you have been keen today and you've seen today's paper.
Is very keen.
Today's paper, you've read today's paper.
I've also read the release.
Yes,
press release.
there is a release that indicating that Machakos County is not going to be getting their funding as from 1st of December.
Point of information on that? Let us hear from the government side. Honorable Minority Leader.
Thank you very much, Madam Speaker, for allowing me to give a point of information. Madam Speaker, on a point of information is that, and it can also be confirmed after this, that I was called by the Deputy Governor, who is also the Minister for Finance, that the Machakos County is the CC and member, and also the Finance, and also the Deputy Governor for Machakos County. And it is very official because he told me that he was engaging the Minister for Finance in relationship to what appeared in today's newspaper, that Machakos County, and it can also be confirmed by our Chair for Budget, had already paid 148 million for pending bills. And the negotiations were that Machakos County should be removed from that list, and there was a full explanation for that, and that was my point of information to this Honorable House. Thank you, Madam Speaker.
Members,
thank you, Leader of...
A moment. What Honorable Minority Leader is saying is that the county government of Machakos has challenged that report?
Those are the rightful words, Madam Speaker, you have put. Exactly, that is exactly what has happened.
Okay, let's go on. Honorable Ngunga, you were on your feet.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Thank you, Leader of Government Business, for that information. Let it be known that still remains as it is, but it's something that is worthy of attention, because if it was brought up to the public, it still remains in the public domain. Something must be done, otherwise this budget will collapse, because assuming that the funds are not flowing this way and the bills are going to be deducted from the treasury, then we are going to have all this vote idea going to the drain. My concern, Madam Speaker, is on the emergency funds. I have heard the chairman budget saying that this budget does not provide for the 2% that is mandatory requirement by the Public Management Act, Public Finance Act. In case, Madam Speaker, now, for example, the rains are on, we have the motion about the stock boiler. We have had quite a number of motions that are coming around in the House here. And here we are as a House, and we have not provided for the 2% emergency funds. So, Madam Speaker, this budget, therefore, should look at a way of addressing the 2% budgetary allocation, which is also mandatory in the Finance Act. So, Madam Speaker, mine is to say that it's a nice budget. I want to approve it, but also as a budget committee to ensure to it that we have at least a provision for the emergency funds. Thank you, Madam Speaker.
I think, honorable members, the issue of emergency fund, maybe a member of the budget committee may need to address us on that. Yes, because a number of us have got stuck on the roads and calling at night to be rescued, and it can only be from the emergency fund. Honorable.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. My name is Honorable Dominic Ndambuki, Chairperson Budget and Appropriation Committee. I arise to clear on two issues. One matter has been raised by Honorable Francis Ngunga about the emergency fund. The allocation given by law is 5% of the total budget.
Is it 5%? Is it 2%? Table clerk. You have the PFM Act with you. We can be confirming as you go on. Just check what.
We had made allocations in last financial year's budget, fiscal year 2018-2019, some funds that were not utilized. When we inquired with the CC Finance, they said that the cabinet had not come up with a policy document providing guidance on how the funds will be utilized. Madam
Emergency
Speaker.
funds.
Yeah. So that is the position.
Are we not sitting on a time bomb? Honorable Museku.
Thank you, Madam
If
Speaker.
we don't have emergency fund, that is very worrying.
Exactly, that is what I wanted to add to what the chair is saying, that any fund has to be managed by regulation. There has to be regulations which can authorize that fund to become effected. We do have a vote head with us here in our budget called Emergency Kit Fund. But we do not have regulations which give guidelines on to how withdrawal should be made from that Emergency Kit Fund. So what we had requested is that for the executive to quickly go ahead and come out with proposals or resolutions to this before this House, regulations which we can be able to discuss and approve on operationalizing the emergency kit and any other kit which they might be having with them. For example, if you look at the bursary kit, it has its own bursary regulation fund 2015, which is in place. And that is what they follow when they're implementing the bursary. And that's what we are trying, what we corrected here through the chair. So for emergency kit, that has to be done. I believe the thinking behind their removing this time around is that if you do not have a regulation which is in place for it, and you put funds there, then you might not be able to access those funds to utilize them. So I believe that should be the reason why maybe they removed it during this first supplementary, but it is up to this House to ensure that those regulations are speeded up and we are able to put them in place so that when we are doing the next supplementary budget, which is going to come early next year, we make sure we make provisions for us to have an emergency kit in place. Because it is not fair for a county, as the budget committee has noted, it is not prudent at all for us to be sitting without money or funds for emergency. It is not prudent at all. And I think the budget committee has highlighted that in its report clearly. Thank you, Madam Speaker.
Thank you very much, Mheshimiwa Museku. There is a lot of provision on emergency fund.
Yes.
In the PFM Act, and those many details shows the importance of such a fund.
Yes.
That we don't have it. I think Honorable Ndambuki's committee, which committee is supposed to deal with this issue? Budget. Because you
Madam Speaker, I may not be very sure about the committee that is vested with.
It's about planning, isn't it? Honorable Kieti, is it about planning? Which committee? Table clerk. There is also Committee of Health and Emergencies.
Devolution.
No, devolution, then another one is health and emergency. But I'm being told it involves about budget, so it should be Committee on Budget and Appropriation. What I'm suggesting, this is just a discussion within a discussion, that you need to take this one up very urgently with Honorable Dominic, you need to take this one very urgently with the CC Finance, very urgently. And I think we may need to take the discussion further outside of today's discussion. So make a way of moving this house to discuss the issue of the emergency fund. Outside of this, make a way. You know how to do it. And that should come next week. All right? You know, whether you want a motion, you want a statement, whichever way, to move this house to discuss the matter. So now we continue with the matter that is on the table. Contributions on the matter that is on the table. Honorable Stephen Mwanthi.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I'm Stephen Mwanthi, representing the great people of Ekalakala, Ekatini Ward. Madam Speaker, the supplementary budget is good, especially when you go to the areas of development. But I think I still need some, have some observation, whereby we have the issue of wage bill, Madam Speaker. It is always good when this assembly talks of the wage bill, we be keen on some of the things that are coming, Madam Speaker. And on that aspect, I want to refer the House to the Department of Tourism, Madam Speaker, whereby we have a Tourism, Culture, Sports and Cooperative Development, Madam Speaker.
That's page...
page 15.
15, yes.
Yeah, it's on page 15, whereby the department and approved a budget of 233 million, which constituted of 130 million on development and 103 million on recurrent expenditure. The county treasury is requesting for 10 million to be increased as recurrent expenditure, Madam Speaker. But on when you go next page, our committee's recommendation, which is the next page, page 16, Madam Speaker, you'll find that the department be revised from 103 million, that is the recurrent, to 141 million. To my understanding is that there is some 30 million still that is going to recurrent expenditure. And Madam Speaker, I don't think that we have some grants on culture. So maybe the chairman or the committee can as well expound on that. Madam Speaker, I would again want also to hand on some input on the same, because we've had our initial budget that we passed on July this year. We enter similar increments, especially on a recurrent, whereby in the Department of Finance, the executive requested for 505 million, that is recurrent, but the committee recommendations recommended 556 million. Madam Speaker, that's a difference of around 55 million. We enter again Department of Public Service, Labor and ICT, whereby, and if you allow me, Madam Speaker, to read that one, is, Madam Speaker, the total proposed budget for the department amounted to 467 million, constituting of 455 million for recurrent and 111 million for development. The committee recommends a total of 520 million, comprising of 509 million for recurrent and 11 for development. In that aspect, Madam Speaker, you'll find that another 47 million was added also in recurrent expenditure. When we are looking for money, and also we are talking about the wage bill, I see it good also for us to be also keen on that and make sure that we are not adding man on recurrent, whereby the executive is not even requesting us to give them. We give them, and on the other side, we start talking of wage bill that is, Madam Speaker, that is ballooning. Thank you, Madam Speaker. Otherwise, I do support the report, Madam Speaker.
Thank you, Honorable Stephen Mwanthi. Honorable Moses Mita.
Thank you, Madam Speaker, for granting me the opportunity also to contribute to this report, or else the supplementary budget. My name is Honorable Moses Mita, representing Kangundo Central Ward residents. Honorable Speaker, I have two issues to raise, but before that I wish to thank the committee, Budget Committee, for the great job they have done and within a very short time. Honorable Speaker, earlier you made a communication about physical planning on 16 urban areas. But Madam Speaker, under 2.11, Department of Lands, Urban Development, Energy and Natural Resources. Honorable Speaker, you note that there is a reduction on development expenditure by 26 million 138 shillings, 1,000 shillings, 138, 355 Kenyan shillings, being the effect of decrease under Program 2 on physical planning. Madam Speaker, I think these are a very big undoing on what you have communicated earlier, because I believe this department would have wanted these funds to necessitate or else to facilitate on what we are intended to do. Also, under the same program, there is a decrease under Program 3 on county electrification by 4.54 Kenya shillings. Madam Speaker, I think this Honorable House earlier had given an indication that each ward should benefit at least by one transformer. And I believe, Madam Speaker, this reduction might also affect that program. So I don't know whether it is too late or to seek corrections, or we would need again to come up with another supplementary budget, because this issue is directly affecting these programs. Madam Speaker, again under the office of the governor, Madam Speaker, I believe we are about to make a law and it's binding. I need clarification on an issue and on an item I've noticed, whereby the CEC Finance proposed that a creation of a hotline to fund purchase of motor vehicles amounting to Kenya shillings 43,276,000, which will be funded from internal reallocation in recurrent expenditure within the office of the governor. The committee recommends the creation of the hotline for purchase of motor vehicles amounting to Kenya shillings 43,276,000 for the county assembly. I don't know whether it's an error. We are talking about the office of the governor, but the item is for the purchase for the county assembly. I seek clarification because we are about to pass a law. Thank you, Madam Speaker.
Thank you, Honorable Mita. Honorable Museko, you wish to give the answer to the query?
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Maybe I just point out on a few of the items raised. The one I start with right away is one for the motor vehicles. The county assembly budget is normally costed. And what happened is that the controller of budget, the regulations which were given were that purchase of motor vehicles is a recurrent expenditure item. So it being a recurrent expenditure item means we cannot budget for it under development. Recurrent expenditure is normally costed by CARA, and they give us a fixed amount of money which you can be able to spend. If you are to spend that amount, which is already costed for salaries and wages, costed for allowances, costed for running of the county assembly on vehicles, then you will be reducing on the amounts of funds which you can be able to utilize as an assembly. So what happened is that because we had not, that provision had not been made in the county assembly budget, the county assembly service board, through the clerk and the executive and the Honorable Speaker agreed with the executive that since we are in their need of vehicles in the County Assembly and we do not have a budget for it, they can be able to purchase vehicles under their recurrent expenditure, but those vehicles for and on behalf of the County Assembly. So that is the reason why that vote head was created. So because we could not be able to buy vehicles under our costed amounts of money, and the executive agreed, since their recurrent expenditure is not costed, theirs is normally based on the allocations given from the equitable share and local revenue collection. So they can be able to accommodate the purchase of vehicles on our behalf. And they wrote a letter, and we have it with us as budget committee for the creation of the new voted. The implication of this is that once this is approved, then we expect the County Assembly within the next 1 or 2 months to be able to get vehicles to assist us in undertaking our jobs here. The other thing I would like to talk about is on the issue of lands, which you have mentioned. We also noted the same, and actually that decrease of 4 million shillings you have seen there originated from the executive. They are the ones who reduced their budget by 4.5 million. And when we sat down with them as a committee, they maintained that that increment will not affect any of the other projects which they are doing. So that is not a decrease which has been effected by the budget committee, but effected by the department itself, and we queried it, and that is the response we got. There is the issue of the increase of 47 million shillings, which Honorable Steve Mwande has raised on that department, and that is a provision for legal fees. We are seeing there are no provisions being made. So one of the recommendations which was there was that we needed to make provisions for legal fees, and we made an additional provision of 47 million shillings for clearance of outstanding legal fees. As you can see, we do have several pending bills in various departments, and that was one of the ones which we addressed. The other thing is on the issue of Masinga Park, which has been raised by the Honorable Member. This item is under a new program in the development. It's a new program. It came under, it's a development item if you look at it. It's not under recurrent, it's under development item. So it is up to the Honorable Member and the people of Masinga to ensure that that program which has been budgeted for by the executive under Masinga Park is actualized, because we have it as a program under development. So that 24 million has been provided for under development by the executive. So if there is any issue to do with that, maybe the Honorable Member would need to get, yes.
Or clarification rather.
Honorable, you are being told that a Masinga Park will be done.
Yeah, but Madam Speaker, I think it's good to get the clarification, since we have no dispute with the report. Actually, we are in support of the report. But they are saying it, if you come there after program 4, they are saying management. So that means this is something which is in existence already.
So the word
management
presupposes an existing.
Yeah, it's like there's something.
That is English now. We go to the people who speak English.
Yes, Madam
Those
Speaker.
who speak and teach English. Management. What does it mean? Other infrastructure and civil works, Masinga Park, sorry. Yes, I am being shown something here, that when you talk of other infrastructure works, Masinga Park, was it that the report captured the word management? And I agree with Mheshimiwa Mulatia, when you talk of management, it denotes something that is existing. So then maybe we need to clarify on the record, Hansard, that it is one that is going to come up, an infrastructure that is going to be done. That's the information we have.
Madam Speaker, I think instead of bringing some issues there, if you can allow me, we can just finish the report, then I can come up with a statement from them to tell us if it is existing or not from the executive.
I think, Honorable Mulati, it is clear that the information we are getting from the committee is that it is a project that is going to be done. Isn't that okay? In fact, we'll be very happy. We should be going to retreat there and not in Nairobi anymore. Okay? So let's have.
Can I finish, Madam Speaker? Maybe.
Yes, you are clarifying some things. You are clarifying some things.
Yes, I was on the. So I think the correct position is what I've said. That if you look at the actual detailed vote heads, where the money is put, it has been put under civil works construction. So that means it's a project. It's not a management issue. And what I would request the honorable member to do, maybe good things are coming his way and he doesn't know, so he might need to get in touch with the executive and actually find out what are these good tidings which are coming to his area. Because they have been budgeted for, he should pick it up and run with it and ensure the project is executed in his area since funds have been provided for it. The other item, I think, is the emergency fund you have noted, and the issue of the vote book, which was brought about by Honorable Ngunga. This time round, the only reason why we have gone ahead as a budget committee without those balances is because the budget, the supplementary budget we are working on right now, has only had the first quarter expenditure, and that first quarter expenditure, keeping in mind that the president of this country only ascended to the new regulations, to the new approval limits of CARA on 18th of September. So we say that we can, it is just like we are dealing with the old budget which we did in June, because from June, July, August up to September, when the president ascended to it, we did not, the expenditures which have gone through there might not affect directly on the supplementary budget we are doing. But for the supplementary budget which will be done in February, coming year, then we'll have half-year expenditures having gone through, and that way we must have the IFMI's voted reports to be able to guide us on how we are going to make decisions affecting the second supplementary going forward. So that was the reasoning of the budget committee. Thank you, Madam Speaker.
Honorable members, just something about the county vehicles being proposed to be purchased through the executive. Honorable Museku has given an explanation, but perhaps I can even make it clearer. In 2017-2018 supplementary budget, and followed by 2018-2019 budget, the Assembly budgeted purchase of its vehicles through development. And from that time, the COB position was that you cannot buy vehicles for under development vote unless that vehicle is for like a project. If you have a project you're doing and then you want a vehicle for that project, because the vehicle and the project are one and the same. I made very many visits to the office of the COB with the clerk, trying to plead with her to allow us to buy the vehicles under development, because as Mheshimiwa Museku said, we cannot buy under our recurrent, which is costed, and there's a ceiling beyond which you can't go. If you bring the money for development vehicles to the recurrent, it cannot, the ceiling cannot accommodate. So because we need vehicles, and personally I don't even have a vehicle that is serviceable. I live Mashambani and the roads are bad, and the vehicle I used to have had a problem with the steering rack. Up to now it is still in the garage, about since August. And I was forced to take a vehicle that is reserved for use by the leadership, because the CASIB decided the leadership of the assembly, and sometimes even the members, we should have vehicles that are available at the pool. So I had to pick one, and even that one is, it's in bad shape. It's making a lot of noise as we move. I've been wondering if somebody was to listen. The way your speaker is traveling is a shame. Look at the way other speakers, Makueni, Kitui, and those are counties, yes. So it's a shame. At the point I'm even thinking of using my own personal vehicles. So what we did, we had an engagement with the executive, because as Mheshimiwa Museku said, their ceiling, they don't have a ceiling on their recurrent. That they buy these vehicles. And remember, when the year passed, the money we had put under development for vehicles was just swept back to the county revenue fund. So it's the same money, which of course is being budgeted now, we buy, but under the executive. And we made it clear that the registration must be in the name of the county assembly, because you don't want a situation where when I'm on the highway, I'm stopped by the executive and told, Brain, this is our vehicle. So we are being careful and they are cooperating, and that is how we decided that we address the issue. So that's why you are seeing it under this. It's a matter that was in CASIB and the budget committee well informed about it. So we continue with our contribution. Allow me to have Honorable Maida. I'll come to members. Honorable Maida.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I am Honorable Moffat Maida, representing the people of Matungulu West Ward. Madam Speaker, I want to congratulate the committee for the great work they did, most over the weekends, to make sure that these budget estimates come to the floor of this House, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, when I look at page 10, Minister of Water and Irrigation, Madam Speaker, I have a plea to the government. We know the government has done major dams in Mwala sub-county and Masinga sub-county. It is my plea this time around, the government does a major dam in Matungulu West Ward, where we have enough land, public land, to accommodate a very huge dam. And in fact, the land will not be...
Point of information?
Because the land is still there.
Honorable Maida, allow the information.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I wish to inform the Honorable Member that there is no mega dam in Masinga sub-county by the county government. Thank you. I hope you are informed.
Madam Speaker.
Honorable Maida.
Madam Speaker, I'm not informed because I visited Honorable Mukenya's area.
Point of information.
Sorry.
Point of information.
I know Mukenya is in Yata.
Therefore, is Honorable Mukenya.
Honorable Muli.
Honorable Muli. Proceed, Honorable Maida.
Madam Speaker, even though there are no major dams done by the government, there are natural dams in that area. And therefore, that is why I'm requesting, if possible, to have some major dams in other areas like Matungulu sub-county or even in Kadhiani sub-county. Madam
Point
Speaker.
of information, Madam Speaker.
Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker.
Please,
No, I've not given you permission. I think if I get Honorable Maida, what he's saying is equitable distribution of resources. And I think we are all in agreement. Equitable distribution of resources. Okay, so let's go on.
Madam Speaker, and if he insists, let him transfer Masinga Dam to Matungulu, where I come from.
Honorable Maida, you are out of order. Can you withdraw the last part of your statement?
I withdraw, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, when we go to roads, Madam Speaker, it is true that the government has done some tarmacking in some wards. It is my wish that this time around, the government of Machakos will also look into other areas. Like when, Madam Speaker, when I talk of disadvantaged areas, we have some wards where it is loamy. And in fact, like common location in my ward, you cannot move in that area because of loamy soil. And therefore, that's why I'm asking this government to now this time around do major roads in those areas which are disadvantaged by the soil structure, Madam Speaker. Two, Madam Speaker, when we go to health, we have given them some money. And it is my belief that this time around, they will finish the projects which we have started in the first assembly. Like Kemiti or the center, there is a house for doctor, for a clinical officer, which have stood undone. Only the iron sheets from the first assembly up to now. And therefore, I am requesting the government of Machakos to finish that building. Madam Speaker, this committee considered that we get 1 million shillings for fuel levy, for fuel for each ward. Madam Speaker, I'm requesting the government to do what we agreed as a committee. Let there be money for the granders when they are doing the grading of the roads to continue smoothly in all the wards with equal share of the fuel from the county government. Madam Speaker, I support this budget.
Thank you, Honorable Maida. Honorable Ndawa.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. My name is Judas Mbilindawa.
And what has been discussed, we avoid repeating so that we bring in new issues.
Thank you, Madam.
On the report. Not only for Honorable Ndawa, but for every member. You notice we need to break, you go for lunch because you're coming back. There's still a lot of work which you need to do. So Honorable Ndawa, proceed. Being brief.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I will be very brief. First of all, I would love to congratulate the committee for coming up with an elaborate and a very clear report. Madam Speaker, the committee has done a commendable job in almost every department. We have seen some funds being reduced from this department and others being increased. That is commendable. Madam Speaker, the issue of fuel for grinding, I would have requested the committee if they could have done the same to the Department of Water, so that every ward can have fuel for the dozers to do other dams. I think that would have been very okay. Then the other issue, Madam Speaker, is that the committee was very keen in other departments, but it is very shallow when it comes to county assembly. I know there is a saying which says whoever does the issue of the dentist who remove people tooth or teeth, they don't like when it comes to their turn. You are very passionate on other departments, but when it came to assembly, you have given us a very shallow report. In fact, it's only 2 sentences. So I fail to understand, Madam Speaker, in the assembly we have recurrent and we also have development. We have money for development. As of now, we are constructing ward offices in different wards. And we are also intending to construct a chamber. Why is it that you're not telling us this financial year, the money that we intend to do a chamber, we are going to remove some few coins to cater for toilets, because we are constructing an office and there is no provision for a toilet. When the members of public or the electorates come to visit the area member of assembly in the office, where are they supposed to go and relieve themselves? So, Madam Speaker, I
remember well, Mheshimiwa Ndawa, on that one, Kasib saw that. And there is no way you can have public office, even private office, without a toilet. So there is a provision for toilets in the ward offices.
Okay, thank you very much for that information, Madam Speaker. I never had the information. I was worrying because my office is almost complete, and I'm worried because we are not intending to rent another rent office by January.
We will not come to open it unless there's a toilet.
Okay, thank you very much, Madam Speaker. I would wish and I would request the honorable members of the House, this budget is the best. We have passed other budgets previous time, but this one, I think this is the best document that ever came up with. So I would request honorable members, let us not talk much. Let us pass this thing so that we can have things done. Thank you, Madam Speaker.
Thank you, Honorable Dawa. Honorable Cosmas. Being brief, we agreed.
Yes, thank you, Madam Speaker. My name is Honorable Cosmas Matungulu East, Madam Speaker, member to this county assembly. Madam Speaker, to start with, I would like to throw my weight back to the emergency fund. Madam Speaker, as we know, Currently, we have a national strike affecting all clinical officers, Madam Speaker, within the country. We made a visit to the level 5. We had a talk with the CC Health and both the clinical officers, Madam Speaker, and we are meant to understand that 95% of the clinical officers is on strike. In fact, Madam Speaker, we are only having in place the clinical officers who are on probation and internship. And so, Madam Speaker, we are spending a lot of money paying some locums, where, Madam Speaker, we are trying to know where they are getting these funds. But, Madam Speaker, they said they normally pay through the operations and maintenance money. So, Madam Speaker, I want to believe the money is meant for that emergency is very key. And, Madam Speaker, it's good for the members to understand that the national strike is affecting the whole nation, not only Machakos alone. And there are 4 issues, Madam Speaker, which need to be addressed by the national government. And I want to believe it will be done soonest. Madam Speaker, my other concern is about the ownership of the vehicles, Madam Speaker, bear in mind that they will be purchased by the executive. I would like, Madam Speaker, maybe you know how the ownership will come as the counter assembly. Madam Speaker, bear in mind that there is the executive and the counter assembly. We have 2 organs, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, again, I've noted that stressing out the point on by Honorable Moffat, having 211 million, Madam Speaker, for dams. Madam Speaker, our request is that we have some equity and make sure that, Madam Speaker, at least the dams are all over the county, Madam Speaker, not on specific wards. That will bring a lot of happiness, Madam Speaker, on our faces. Madam Speaker, I wish that the budget committee again would have told us how much we have for bursaries. Madam Speaker, is that now, let my members, Madam Speaker, know we have spent this and we are expecting this amount by January. At least, Madam Speaker, we love to budget and know what is there for the same. Madam Speaker, I've looked at the Department of Health and I've seen there is some 159 million which was reduced from purchase of medical specialized drugs. Madam Speaker, maybe we could get some highlights, bearing in mind that in health, Madam Speaker, in many cases in our health facilities, we ran short of drugs. Madam Speaker, I would wish we could have added a budget on the same and make sure that our people, Madam Speaker, the end result of going to the hospitals is at least by the end of it you get the drugs, Madam Speaker, which have been educated by the doctors. So, Madam Speaker, again, I don't know the method we'll use to make sure that the money is meant for each ward on the rural areas in terms of the grading. Madam Speaker, I don't know how we'll be monitoring the 1 million per ward. Bear in mind that, Madam Speaker, the fueling is being done by the executive. So it's good, Madam Speaker, to have a way to monitor the 1 million for each member to be known that at this given point, Madam Speaker, I've spent this amount and I have a balance of this amount.
Honorable Cosmas, you have the powers to call for records and information as an assembly, even a committee.
Yes, Madam Speaker.
Committee on transport.
So that.
Don't say you don't know how it will be done. You know.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I wish the Chairman Transport will come up with a method and make sure that we are on it every now and then. Otherwise, Madam Speaker, I support fully the report. And Madam Speaker, again, we need to make sure that our projects, Madam Speaker, for the 15 million, we need to make some movement and make sure we start these projects. Otherwise, Madam Speaker, we are just some months to the lapsing of the year 2019-2020, and we are not sure if we'll have the 15 million projects, Madam Speaker, in place in the due time. Otherwise, thank you, Madam Speaker.
Honorable members, we will have, I can see more hands because of protocol. Allow me to assign, then that will be like the final, isn't it? Honorable Majority Leader, Honorable Minority Leader, Honorable Kisila, Honorable Kisini, Honorable Mweni, I've been seeing your hand up. Honorable Jeremiah, you're too many. Honorable Museku, Honorable Mutiso, in that order. And I think we just need to be very brief, okay? Please remember the order. Then we will call the mover to reply so that we can go to the next stage.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Let me also, I'll be brief. Since I'm going through the report, let me say first I congratulate the committee of the work they did in a short time. They were spending most of the time with their weekend. And Madam Speaker, this is shows how commitment the committee is committed to this House. Let me say, Madam Speaker, my concern of my area of concern is on the pending bills. Madam Speaker, we know our county well. Let us not say we are in good books. Madam Speaker, we know there is a lot of pending bills, and I can see in the report there's no provision for the pending bills, which I think, Madam Speaker, although it was said by members who were talking before me, that national treasury and national government, in fact, not even the notification which was given, is a fact that they are not going to give money to any county government which has not cleared the bills. And these are directed from His Excellency, the President of this country. Therefore, Madam Speaker, I think this is a matter we need to revisit. As a committee of budget should look away of seeing how it is going to be revisited. Because if we are going to lose money because we have pending bills, then, Madam Speaker, the county will suffer. The other issue, Madam Speaker, I will talk is the budget, the supplementary budget looks good. But, Madam Speaker, I will urge the House to be vigilant and careful also. We are going to pass the supplementary budget, no problem, but we have some projects which are not being paid. The 10 million projects are not being paid. Those are also debts which are pending. These projects might affect the 15 million because the contractors still, they are complaining now. They have not been paid for the 10 million projects. So for the 15 million projects which are, we want now to start initiating, might be affected because if the 10 million projects are not paid, you cannot convince the service providers, that is the contractors, that in the 15 million you are going to pay. So it is my humble request on the government side to honor and pay the pending bills, and the 15 million projects, Madam Speaker, if this House is not careful, we might not start them. We might be doing these projects in the next financial year. So I request this House, we must move very fast and have a meeting with the executive to discuss on the issue of the 15 million projects. Because as of now, Madam Speaker, there's nothing going on the ground. Yes, for the last 2 months, 3 months, nothing going on. So it is my humble request to the House and the executive to meet on these 15 million projects. Because we might be, Madam Speaker, talking about projects, yes, we are being allocated 15 million, you are happy. But when are they going to be implemented? For example, we should be now implementing the 15 million projects. So let us not look on the side of, yes, we have 15 million, and then we are not looking on the side of the implementation, Madam Speaker. So, Madam Speaker, I don't want to waste a lot of time. What I have noticed with the supplementary budget is good. It is good on the paper. So it is upon us, members, to look into the matters which are affecting us, and then we make the executive to implement. Otherwise, I support the
Thank you, Honorable Majority Leader. Honorable Minority Leader.
Thank you very much, Madam Speaker. I'm Alex Kamitu, MC Talaud and Leader of Minority in this House. Madam Speaker, I don't want to make a summary, but I would say that this report on the Budget and Appropriation Committee did a very well done job, and my humble contribution, Madam Speaker, would be, in the report we have indicated that there are some various departments, Madam Speaker, that didn't spend. So we are talking of, we have noted with a great concern that there was some money which were returned at the end of the fiscal year. So it is my humble request for the various committee members to go through this committee, this report, so that during our interrogations or during the departmental interrogations, we should be summoning or tasking the various CEOs or the various ministers in their departments why the money they were allocated was not used, because this goes around, it relates to what the majority leader said in regard to now the project that we were given. Every project in regard to transport, or it is in the Department of Water, the various committee, the chairs and their various committee members, they should task those departments that never spent there, because there is no reason why this money was returned to at the end of the year. So that is my concern, Madam Speaker. Thank you.
Honorable Kisila, briefly. You have a whole manuscript.
No, Madam Speaker, I'll be very brief. My name is Mheshimiwa Kisila from Mwala. I have some few concerns, Madam Speaker, and I urge you to be patient with me. The issue of pending, let us be very honest, because honesty is what is going to drive us forward. We have a problem with pending bills. Let the CEC, Deputy Governor, not tell us he has paid people. People who have not been paid. We have got projects which are stalled, which have not been paid for 5 years. And that is a fact. So, Madam Speaker, in this House, we need to seriously sit down and put our foot down on pending bills. Otherwise, we are going to lose money on development. Number 2, Madam Speaker, we need to focus on revenue collection. A very key area which again will give us more money. We did 1.6 this year, we can do more if we sit down with the executive. Number 3, Madam Speaker, I want to support Mheshimiwa Moffat. Dam construction needs to be equally distributed. I stand here as Mheshimiwa Mwala. The last 2 years, no one dam in my ward. When we are talking about dams being done, and 211 million which have been set aside, it is a high time now as members we start demanding. Otherwise we'll be giving money and then money goes down the drain. 211 million is no small money. Again, Madam Speaker, we need to an audit of where these dams are being done. And let's have a report to this assembly. Madam Speaker, another thing which is very important is weirs. Kwa Kigamba inaitwa core. A lot of money being spent on one weir because of the method the executive is using. They are giving contractors subcontract a 3 million weir across a very small river, when actually that money can be used in a better way. Madam Speaker, let us now move to the next level as an assembly and start demanding things to be done the right way. Agriculture, we are giving additional 18 million to greenhouses and tractors. Now, my friend, we are giving 18 million more for greenhouses and tractors. Where are they?
My friend is the budget chair.
Budget committee. 18 million for greenhouses and contractors. When the current tractors. When the current tractors are stalled. So, are we giving additional money to already a stalled project? Because we are coming from the rains. And there's no one single tractor which was seen in any ward. So members, sasa tuanze kuongea ukweli sasa, wacha maneno ya kuficha. Because
now you are mixed.
So sorry, madam, I'm very sorry about it. I think we need to demand from the CEC Agriculture that these structures must be operational and they must start serving the purpose which they are given for. We cannot start doing 1 week to the rains, you start doing tractors, 1 week to rains. Madam Speaker, 10 million for purchase of chicks. Very good idea.
But where are these chicks being given? We need to come up with a policy of how these chicks from the Chairman Agriculture, how are these chicks being distributed? I've only received 500 since I became a Mheshimiwa.
Chairman Agriculture, you're listening.
So how are these chicks being distributed?
Honorable Kisila, maybe Honorable Mitacha has an answer.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Policy on chicks distribution.
Madam Speaker, I wish to inform Honorable Kisila that since the inception of our ward projects, some honorable members are currently allocating funds towards that issue of chicks. And we have to factor that. Two, Honorable Speaker, I think honorable members can appreciate for once, at least the issue of chicks is becoming transparent. Initially, it was being done under the table, but currently I've been receiving reports. Honorable members are receiving chicks, Madam Speaker, and I think I would request this Honorable House to assist me to rehabilitate that department, because I'm seeing results out of it. Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Yes, Honorable Speaker.
Madam Speaker, something is being done. I'm talking on behalf of people of Mwala. I've only received 500 since the last 2 years. So, if that is a case...
Point of information, Madam Speaker.
I will not allow any information. Honorable Kizila,
I'll finish. So, as much as I want to concur with what my minority leader is saying, as much as we are saying things are being done, let us have documented proof in this assembly of how those things are being done. Let's not make general statements. Madam Speaker, purchase of ceilings for arid land. We need to move away from this Ndengo. Our people are farmers. We need seedlings. So if money has been allocated for seedlings, let us now move to grass. We need that money. Policy on fuel. If we are giving, let me tell you, members, we can, if you want us to live here very happy that something has happened.
Honorable Kisila, you are supposed to address
Madam Speaker.
Honorable Speaker.
Yes.
Not just looking at the members.
Madam Speaker, this fuel issue is very, 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 very thorny. And in fact, Mwala sub-county, the biggest sub-county we have here. Personally, I've got 12 sub-locations and 4 locations. Madam Speaker, we are only given a fuel card for the entire sub-county of 200,000. By the time it leaves Mama Tosha, imeenda.
Now, who is Mama Tosha?
Mheshimiwa
Honorable
Anastasia, Mheshimiwa Anastasia. Then we need to come up with a very good policy, members, on how we are going to ensure that each one of us gets their allocation. So let us not just give these people money. Yeah, we are giving them money, but we will say 1 million is from Mwala. A very well detailed policy on how that will be managed. I would like to be very happy, because some members are suffering. Madam Speaker, bursaries, the committee never told us. Everybody now knows the schools are closed. Everybody knows KCP results are out. Waheshimiwa, we are going on recess. You have not told us how much money you are going to give us for bursary come January. A clarification needs to come out. In fact, I wish I got the information that we are starting public participation on bursaries next week. It is a pain. Madam Speaker, equipping ECDE and polytechnics. All of us have constructed polytechnics and ECDs. We need to factor money for equipping this as per the report we got from Kericho, from Chairman Education, how they are doing it in Kericho. Let us equip this, otherwise they'll just become white elephants, which are not serving the purpose. Department of Sports is another dead department, which actually we cannot see anything happening in that department. Now, they're asking for 10 million, for 7 million, for Machakos United Club. Now, what is the criteria for setting up this Machakos United Club? How are we going to come up with a club? Which criteria? Are you going to pick one from a player from every county? Or you are going to only use a few people from Machakos town? And again, Madam Speaker, this is not what we need. We need a very well thought out process on sports in Mashinani, in every ward. How do they organize sports and talent identification in the wards? I see 7 million should not be used for just setting up a club. We need to set up talent centers. And now schools are closed. How do we engage this youth? We have a lot of potential and a lot of talent in this county, but it is going down the drain because we don't have a policy. Balloon, my last point, Madam Speaker, is on my ballooning wage bill. We can talk until cows come home. We need to address this issue head on. And we need to be very transparent. Madam Speaker, I'm having village administrators in my ward, and I had an audit of them. Some of them, even the way they have been recruited, leaves a lot to be desired. And again, we have a wage bill which is high, but my friends, we are recommending increase in salaries. So there are two things here which are actually beating the purpose. So, Madam Speaker, with those few points, I want us to, the bill is very good, and we are going to pass it. But once we pass the bill as a house, what my minority said, the failure is with us. On the way we are monitoring execution by the various departments in the executive. Let us up our game as members and ensure whatever we are giving out has been implemented. There is a committee on implementation in this house. I have never seen one report from that committee telling us how we are doing things in this.
A point of information. Point of information. Point of information. Point of information.
Honorable Mudoka, you have an information?
Madam Speaker, I'm Fred Mudoka from Mitaboni Ward, Chairman Implementation. You know, my brother, Honorable Kisila, I'm seeing him today. I think he doesn't attend this. He's always absent. Even I think he has passed the 8 sittings. We should be recalled from
Honorable members, order, honorable members. Order, okay. That's a good commercial break, can we say? Honorable Mudoka, we've had your information. Honorable Kisila, you have been informed.
I am very much informed.
And I will task the table clerks here to check on the rule on 80 sittings going forward. For all of you.
Madam Speaker.
But even then, have you finished, Honorable Kisila?
I'm finishing. I am one key member of various committees. And actually, I would like to challenge the implementation committee. The first report they have ever tabled on how projects are being implemented. I'm only challenging. I'm not saying you're doing a bad job. But let me tell you.
Honorable Kisila, address the chair.
Yes, Madam Speaker.
Address the chair.
We have a lot of issues. And majority said it. It is a high time we follow through implementation of whatever we pass.
The point is clear. Can you go to the next one?
I have finished, Madam Speaker.
Thank you very much. Honorable members, even as you are getting the bits of pleasant exchanges between Honorable Kisila and Honorable Mudoka on implementation and generally the members, from what I got from Honorable Kisila's debate, he has raised very important issues, particularly on policy formulation. We have a lot of areas where the chairs of those committees, and I know you are listening, we talked of culture, even education, ECDs, even sports, culture again, even on water pans. Water pans? Wares. We need to have documented policies which are going to guide implementation. Maybe that is why you even find it difficult also to oversight the executive. Because how do you do it when you don't have those policies in place? So it's upon the chairs. You have looked at this report and you pick out on what affects your even increasing on revenue collection. Run with it and engage the CEO, engage the CC, who is your counterpart, and come up with a policy and bring it here. Because like for bursaries, we already have the regulations, but in all the others, we do not have. You see, the point is bringing up. I think it is important we do that. Otherwise, on implementation, then again, it is up to the House. You know, you have to make sure that what you pass must be implemented, and it is you. The buck stops with you, all of you, not just one person, but all of you. So can we go on to the next? I had given an order. Honorable Kisini, you are the next one. Then we come to Honorable Mweni. Honorable Jeremiah has walked out. Let's go on. But kindly.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I want also to congratulate the committee and say that it has done a good job. I've only got two issues. One is on the centralized units on page 8. And maybe, Madam Speaker, mine is like a question. On the EPZ drainage, there was a reduction of 720,000. Honorable members, when we were checking on the pollution over the river, you saw how that drainage has really stored because of mud inside it. Water cannot pass. So it's a question on that reduction I'm trying to ask. Why reduce the 720? If I can be answered on that one. And then I also go to page 13. That is on the, I'm still concerned about the roads, Madam Speaker. In this proposal for supplementary budget of 303 has been evolved from the rural roads to dams. Madam Speaker, it's not that I'm opposed to the dams. It also depends on what each ward, each sub-ward wants to benefit from. We have never, like my ward, have never benefited in these rural funds. And to remove them and we are not benefited means that we will still go back for the roads in the river in my ward. So I also need some clarifications maybe from the budget committee to know if that is going, if the now money has been transferred from the roads to the dams, it means now the roads in the river in my ward are going to remain stagnant. Thank you, Madam Speaker.
Thank you, Honorable Kisini. Was it Honorable Mweni or Jeremiah? Honorable first. Honorable, yes, give the Honorable Mweni the chance.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I'm Bendeta Mweni Musyoka, elected by Wiper. Mine is to say I support the report, but mine is we give the executive money all the time, but they don't do what they have written to do. They do opposite. So I think, Honorable Kamitu, you tell those people they have to do what they have asked you the money for. It's very unfair. Like me, I'm a Mheshimiwa, and I cannot reach my house because there is no road. And I have been asking in this house for, let us say now, 7 years since I came to this assembly. So if I cannot get the road to my place when I'm a Mheshimiwa, what about when I go home? Will I reach there or I will go out from the house? So, Madam Speaker, I think these people, like what Anjolita has said, yes, we are passing the money for them. We are having dents. Today we were told we will not get the money. think very deep. And when we are told we will not get the money, you cannot go and tell the executive they are the ones who have been eating the money. We are also taught that we eat the money. So, Madam Speaker, I don't know, Mheshimiwa Kamitu will inform who I'm sitting down. Thank you, Madam Speaker.
All right. Honorable Kamitu, you have nobody to inform. Honorable Mweni has finished. Let's go to the next member. Honorable Jeremiah.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I'm Honorable Jeremiah Munguti from the Dene Ward. Madam Speaker, I would like to congratulate the committee for the good job well done, and also to give my observation on this budget. Madam Speaker, it goes without saying that as we pass this budget, we are also saying that the executive must implement all the things that we have given to be done in the right time. We must also look for the time frame after we have given our work. Madam Speaker, also, I would like also to concur with Honorable Ndawa on issues of pending bills. Here in Assembly, we have also our own budget. And I want to understand also, Madam Speaker, as we also allocate money for this Assembly, we have also pending bills in our Assembly. It will be prudent for this House also, we live as an example by paying our pending bills or for our debtors. Madam Speaker, also in the issue of our ward offices, Mheshimiwa Ndawa stipulated well that we are doing our offices, yet we have no public toilet. Immediately our electorates come to us, they will have nowhere. Yes, Madam Speaker, I am driving the point home that
it is already home.
There is some provision which is not there.
If it is about toilets for the ward offices, I indicated that CASIB has provided for them. And
thank you, Madam
which
Speaker.
Are going to be opened, officially CASIB will be there. And it will not open unless they are public toilets.
Thank you, Madam Speaker, for that information. Also, Madam Speaker, on the issues of the Department of Labor, Public Service and ICT, I have a lot of concern with this department. Madam Speaker, we have seen a lot of increase on issues of wage bill and also giving money to this department. Madam Speaker, we have a very big problem in this department because one thing, we are giving out money, yet there are no people being employed in staff in our county, and yet we are increasing amount of money in terms of wage bill. It is my prayer that we have a committee for labor, public and ICT so that they can give us a work establishment on all the departments and the staff so that we can move with the right direction on issues of giving money for workers in our
Honorable Jeremiah, point of information by Honorable Angela.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I would like to inform the member that he was the first chair of the Labor Committee and we never got any report from him about the soaring wage bill. And secondly, salary increments are the rights of employees. There's no way you can deny them a salary increment because of our soaring wage bill. Thank you, Madam Speaker.
Who is the current chair of Labor? I was actually thinking it is still Mheshimiwa Jeremiah that I thought it was still him. Who is the current chair? Honorable Francis Kalumu, who is not here. Okay.
Thank you, Madam Speaker, for that member.
Honorable Jeremiah, you notice that there is the aspect of salary reviews. And in government service, it is done, is it yearly? Yes. It is yearly. Yeah, now that is the unfortunate bit. It's a right of the employer.
Thank you, Madam Speaker.
Room for us to check on the issue of the ballooning wage bill.
Thank you, Madam Speaker, for your concerns. And I would like also to inform the member who was giving me that information. As I was setting up the work establishment on the same department, Madam Speaker, I was written out of that committee, and therefore that is why we have never had the work establishment, Madam Speaker.
You got a departmental transfer?
I don't know whether it was transfer or it was...
So where are you now, Honorable Jeremiah?
Madam Speaker, I'm in the Department of Decentralized Unit in the Committee of Devolution.
Devolution.
Yes, Madam Speaker.
Go ahead.
On the same vein, Madam Speaker, on the ICT department, we have also increased our development money from 11 million to 21 million. And it is my plea from that committee that they ensure that we had given out some work to be done into our wards. Madam Speaker, in this nation, we are being digitized, and we are moving from analog to digital. It is my prayer that as we give out this money, each ward can get an ICT for our youth so that they can be uploading the works which are being advertised for the nation, and also searching for jobs in the various departments of this county. On the other issue, Madam Speaker, is on the Department of Health, and in this particular concern is about emergency department. In this house, we passed a report for each sub-county to have a refueling petrol station for our ambulances. But Madam Speaker, it is so sad. Last week, we lost an inborn who could be a leader in this nation. For a woman who went into labor for quite some time. When we asked for an ambulance, we were told there were no fuel for the ambulances, Madam Speaker. And by so doing, the woman labored for quite some time, and when she delivered, the child was pronounced dead, which is a concern, and this was from my ward. Also, Madam Speaker, in the Department of Sports, we also assigned for some developments to be done into our wards. We identified each ward to get 2 fields or pitches to be leveled for our youth to be playing in a fair and also in a well-leveled ground. Madam Speaker, I will realize that all the monies which have been putting into this department has been going to other areas which have no concern to us. My prayer is that, Madam Speaker, we can have each ward have either 2 or 3 playing grounds being leveled for our ward, for our youth to be doing sports. Also, Madam Speaker, I had a league which I started last year. I have seen that we are giving one team, which is called MACHAKOS team, which has been given 7 million. My plea to this house is that we distribute this money to all the wards, because each Mheshimiwa here has his own programs of sports. And by so doing, Madam Speaker, from that league, I produced 4 youths, which have been actually introduced in the youth league of our national team, and they have gone to another level from the then ward, coming from that area all the way to the national level. But when we start a team from this Machakos County, maybe we can get people from just within the town, and we can. What I can ask the House is that we can pass the report so that we can get the money for our development issues. Thank you, Madam Speaker.
Thank you, Honorable Jeremiah. Honorable Mutiso, then Honorable Museku.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I'm Peter Joseph Mutiso, MCA Machakos Central Ward. My concern is on page 15 on beautification. Madam Speaker, as I have seen, the executive needs some money for beautification, but my worry is every other time we plant flowers, we see people on our way to Nairobi. But what I want to say or to urge the government to do is that if they can plant trees, the same way they are planting flowers, they are trees. Because with the trees, it will be good for us and prudent. But with the flowers, sometimes our climate in this area is not friendly to some flowers, if I may say. So I urge them to plant trees as much as they can, and also in some other areas like Kimakemwe, they can also do the same. It will be good for us, and we will see where our money is. But with the flowers they are planting, it is a total mess, Madam Speaker. That's my observation, because for almost 8 years they have been planting flowers, but there is nothing that you can see. It's only that at Makutano, whereby you can see some flowers, but in other areas there is totally nothing. I'm also a happy man when I go through Kenya Israel. Those trees, we planted them 03 when I was councillor in this area. And I'm the happiest man when I pass them, because I can see trees and people resting there. So, Madam Speaker, let the government do something serious, as Mheshimiwa from Mwala said, because what we want to see is our money, profit of our money, but not we want to do some things for the sake of doing them. That is not really good, Madam Speaker. So, I also request our members, honorable members, if they can come up with a plan on how we can plant trees from all over, not even along the roads. Thank you, Madam Speaker.
Honorable Mutiso, thank you. And on that note, Honorable Kisini, I forwarded to you a directive from Wake Up. Yes, I forwarded to you a directive from the Senate on tree planting, your committee clerk, through my own. But the Senate has passed a policy, which is almost like law, requiring each county to upscale tree planting to reach a certain percentage. And I said it be brought to you as Chair of Environment. And what Mheshimiwa Mutiso is saying, now that's another thing that would make your committee to move and create a policy on tree planting.
Yes, Madam Speaker.
Yes, if you didn't see that directive from the Senate.
I'm yet to see it, but we are going to follow.
You have a clerk. I gave it out to your clerk to be given. In fact, the Senate set even a deadline for that to be done by each county. So you can pass again through my office and check on what could have happened. But the policy is there. Right? Thank you, Honorable Mutiso. Honorable Museku.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Honorable Paul Museku, representing the great people of Mbonde North. Just to highlight on a few issues, Honorable Speaker, while we were going through that budget, as a committee, we also noticed there was some quite substantial amount of money going under other current transfers in various departments, 2 million here, 5 million here, 10 million here, indicated as other current transfers, which as a committee we said we are going to go down into and try and find out what are these other current transfers being put in the various departments. Madam Speaker, there is an honorable member who talked about the issue of the county assembly and it being given 2 lines. If you notice, this is a supplementary budget, and the supplementary budget talks on adjustments. We don't talk about the actual budget. So if the committee recommended no movements in those, then it means the position reverts to what we budgeted for. And if we refer to the actual budget, which we did here in June, then we'll be able to get all the details of the funds which we had provided for 911 million and the 387 million. So that's the reason why we did not have any write-up, because the committee is recommending no movement. The status quo is maintained. So there was nothing to explain in as far as that is concerned. The issue of outstanding projects, which the Honorable Majority Leader has talked about, out of the balances brought forward of 1.8 billion, which was sitting in the Count Revenue Fund as at 30th of June, end of the last fiscal year, 400 million of that, to be precise, 356 million, was to cater for the 10 million projects. So the understanding of this committee is that the contractors who did jobs under the 10 million need to present their bills as quickly as possible, because the money, the funds are there, and they have been now appropriated into the various votes. So there should be no reason whatsoever why the contractors who did projects under the 10 million should not be paid, because we do have a provision of 356 million shillings under the various voted. Actually, for roads alone is 100 million, which was brought forward. So we need to move with speed and ensure that we push for our contractors to be paid on the 10 million shilling issue. The issue on the fuel card, the fuel issue, Honorable Kisila raised it. What the budget committee had recommended, if you read that report properly, is that we want a fuel card. Various oil companies have various fuel cards. If we can be able to get fuel cards for each ward, a fuel card per ward, those are only 40 fuel cards, and you upload it with the money for that ward, so that now we don't have the cards. The card is still the executive, but once you have uploaded your money in a card, nobody else can use it, because it is your card and you have to sign for it, and there has to be a statement for it. So that was the suggestion, and we are saying that the budget committee and also the roads and transport committee working jointly to ensure that the executive go ahead and actually implement this, and they give wards their various fuel cards loaded with cash for each specific ward. One of the things, just for your information, honorable members, because I'm from that industry, you lose a lot if you don't have a fuel card. If you have a normal fuel card from Kobil or from Shell, you will be fueling 3 to 4 shillings cheaper off the pump price, simply by having that fuel card. So if the fuel is going for 100 shillings and you have a fuel card for Shell, your price is 96. So even us getting these fuel cards for awards, we'll be able to enjoy those tremendous discounts and achieve much more in utilization of the fuel cards. The other issue has been raised by Honorable Kissin is on the issue of roads, where he talked about the reduction. If you look at what is remaining under rural roads, is about 151 million shillings. That's what's remaining there. And we have provided a further 40 million under fuel, which takes you to 291 million shillings. We had budgeted for 303. Status quo remains almost the same. So that is how we have done it, and we are sure that the road project should not be affected by that movement of the 300 million shillings. Finally, I talk about the current status of the economy of Kenya. Just to give an overview, is that we know Kenya is deep in debt. We even saw the National Assembly approving for extension of the debt ceiling. The implications of that is that as an assembly, we should not be blind to what is happening in the country. We have also seen the lifting of the credit of the limit on interest rates. All what that is pointing out to, as I alluded before, is that there's going to be a credit squeeze in the short term. In the next few months, next 6 months, 1 year, you'll get a very huge credit squeeze in the country as we gamble with servicing the debt, which has also come at a very expensive rate, open market rates, instead of through the Brenton institutional rates. So the issue here is that whatever funds we allocate for development in our budget, let those funds be used prudently, because they are being allocated from that scarce environment. It will be quite immoral for us to be actually allocated funds to do roads while the country is under credit crunch and we don't do those roads. We allocated funds to construct hospitals and we don't construct those dispensaries. We allocate funds to construct or to sink wells, boreholes, and to put up dams, and we don't do it. Why? Next year, the allocations will become tighter and tighter. So my plea would be for the various departments of the Assembly to make sure that whatever has been approved in these budgets and funds are allocated for it, we push as an Assembly through the various departments and ensure those funds are actually utilized for the projects we are supposed to utilize to do them. Others will sit in next year and be saying, we wish we had done the things we should have done when the credit squeeze comes in. Thank you, Madam Speaker.
Thank you. Thank you, Honorable Museko. Can I call upon the mover of the motion to reply?
Thank you, Madam Speaker. First, I wish to thank the Honorable House for their passionate support and contribution to this report that the Budget and Appropriations Committee presented before the House. Madam Speaker, budget preparation and implementation is a process that starts from when we present the county fiscal strategy paper. In between, we have supplementary budgets. We have a review using the CBROP tool. And it's my plea that honorable members here in their various committees will find time to interrogate the implementation of budget, especially for this fiscal year. The chairpersons of those committees to work in liaison with their respective CEOs and CECs to ensure that the programs and projects that honorable members have proposed are implemented, Madam Speaker. On the issue of pending bills, Budget Committee, as directed by Honorable Speaker, will move with speed and with the cooperation of the Honorable House to ensure that we address it and that Machakos County moves from the list, that list of shame, to a list of heroes. In conclusion, Madam Speaker, I call upon members of this House to support this report that we have presented before them. Thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Honorable members, I'm just getting some context here, but I'll do what is necessary. So, honorable members, allow me now to put the question that this House does approve and this House discusses and approves the report of the Budget and Appropriation Committee on the Machakos County Supplementary Budget 2019. As many as are of the opinion say aye. Aye. As many as are of the contrary opinion say nay. The ayes have it. So thank you, honorable members, and we just need to do a bit of housekeeping. I notice it is 20 to 3, and you're supposed to be back here because you still need to finalize the work on the supplementary budget. Can we come back at 3:30 or quarter to 4? Quarter to 4. That is 3:45. All right? Now, which 3:30? Thank you. 3:30, honorable members, so that we can finish the work that is before us. Remember, we will have to go on even if it means late into the night to finish the work that's on our table. Right? So the sitting of the House is adjourned to reconvene on the 20th day of November 2019 at 3:30 p.m. Thank you.
Ese